Rand is a function in the MATLAB that generates a random number for us. For example, if you type rand and press enter, it generates a random number between 0 and 1 for you. As you see, every time I call this function, it generates a random number between 0 and 1 for you. So in your application, sometimes you don't need a number between 0 and 1. So it is very simple. You must multiply the rand in a constant. For example, I want a random number between 0 and 100. You just need to type 100 times rand. Generate a random number between 0 and 100. It is very useful for some artificial intelligence algorithm. It has a very application. I can bring some example for you. You can use it. You can see that it has a very application in a different program. For example, you use in here randn. Randn is another command that generates a random number based on Gaussian distribution. For example, if you call it generates a random number based on distribution, Gaussian distribution. Please let me to run to see the help of this function. Normal distribution or Gaussian distribution. And there is no any shape in here. If I want to show you the shape of Gaussian distribution, it has this shape. This is 0, it is a sigma, and the mu of that you can define in this. But the sigma and the mu in here is a 0 and 1. Okay, let me to type or CLC. In the rand, you can define the number of row and variable as before. If you want to generate a matrix of random number for you, you can type rand and the number of row and columns for you. Or you can multiply in a number, so the number of matrix is between a number for you. As you see here, the random number are between 0 and 200. Every time I run this, you can see that the result has a number between 0 and 1. In some application, you need to generate random number between in a range of between A and B. For example, suppose that you want to generate number between A and B. For example, you want to generate number between 2 and 300. In here, you just need to use this formula B plus B minus A time rand. It will generate a random number for you between A and B. It is very simple. You just need to type Let me to run this example for you. 300 minus 300 minus 2 times rand. As you see here, the number is between 2 and 300. In some application, you need to generate integer number. Let me to clear the screen and bring my previous code. For example, this code. As you see, the number are not integer, but you want to convert this number to integer value. MATLAB has a 4 function for rounding number. 4 function that you can use for rounding the number in MATLAB. The first is a round, next is a scale, floor, and fix. Every function has a special application. Round the number to the nearest integer. Let me to bring the help of this function for you. Round to nearest integer to round. And sign round toward positive infinity. If it is our scale, let me to it is a positive infinity and it is a minus infinity and it is a 0. Sail round toward positive infinity. I want to show you every number rounded to this side. To this side. Every number, the integer number that is in this side. The floor round toward negative infinity in this side. And fixed round toward 0 in this direction. It means that if it is a positive, it will round it toward a lower number. But if it is a negative, convert it to a bigger number. Let me to run it on this matrix. I use the round and run again this code. As you see, the result is an integer number. Every time you run, you will see an integer number. Or I can use sign. Or I can use the floor or fix. What's important things in here for you is that if you want a positive number in any situation, you must use sail. As you sail, round it to the bigger number. So I don't have a 0 at all. I don't have a 0 at all. Let me to run sail. For example, if you 30.6, it will convert it to 4. If you 1.62, if you give it 0.6, it will give you 1. So in your program, if you need that your random number cannot be 0, and every time you have a integer number bigger than 0, you must use style. It is a very application because as you know, in a MATLAB, the index array must be bigger than 0. You cannot, for example, let me to put this in the variable. For example, it is a matrix in MATLAB. If you want to index it, you must use a bigger number. Q211, it is this number, or Q212, this number. You cannot use 0, 2. In C++ or C or in Java, we can use 0. But in a MATLAB, the index number must be integer and must be, as you see here, index invalid. Array index must be positive integer or logical value. MATLAB support the logical indexing. So if in an application you need a positive integer and that you don't see the 0 in the index of your array, you must use sale. Every has an application. It is my experience that when I need positive bigger than 0, I use the sile. Okay, why didn't I use the randn? If I use the randn in my matrix, the number that is generated is not between 0 and 200 because the shape of the normal distribution or Gaussian distribution is musbat infinity to minus infinity, negative infinity. So it can have any number. As you see, it is a bigger than 200. It's bigger than 200. It is not between 0 and 200. It is a negative number. So if you want to have a control over the number that is generated, you must use randn. But if you want any number that you generated, the range is not important. You use the randn. It generates the negative and positive number for you. 0 is in here. Okay, it was the how to generate the random number in MATLAB. MATLAB has many applications for generating random number. For example, randi. It generates integer random number. You don't need the style or round on another rounding function. You just need to type randi5. It will generate a random number between 1 and 5 for you, or between 1 and 50. Every time you run, you will see a integer number. Or you can define the number of row and set, for example 3. you will generate a matrix 3 row and 3 column that are numbered between 1 and 50. So if you want to generate random number, these three functions can be used, and you will see this function many times in a different MATLAB code. For example, in here it used the randn for generating the random number, or in here it used the randn for generating the random number. All of these functions that you are using, it will help you to writing the code in the future.